Oh, interesting. Good evening, Reds. Welcome to the pre-match build-up. Friday night football at Stamford Bridge with a massive final on the horizon. And this is the team that Ruben Hammering, it might be hammering tonight, I'll tell you that, Ruben Hammering has gone with. Let's get into it. Really, really strong. I don't think anyone was really expecting this. I mean, even when we did the preview, Sam put basically kids. I thought I was going a little bit too strong with the players I had. I like Ugarte and Kobe Mainu in the team. But yeah, as always, we'll go through the team together. We'll discuss tactics. We'll discuss individuals. We'll discuss the giant final on the horizon, of course. The game today, I mean, it makes it more competitive, I suppose, but maybe not if they perform how they did, like they did against West Ham. But we've got Onana in net, who's probably going to start the final himself. I put Mazraoui at right centre-back. We've got two Mazraouis on the pitch here. So he split himself in half. He's overdoing it for what Mazraoui... I mean, he plays too much football anyway, but imagine splitting himself. We've got Maz, and we've got Rauri on the pitch. Apologies for that. That is obviously a obvious technical issue. So what I will do, I'll put Lindelof there. That's who's supposed to be there. Mazraoui hasn't got a twin. I promise you. So it is actually Lindelof at right-sided centre-half, and I've just quickly changed it there. Maguire and Shaw at the back, again, giving you kind of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer vibes. I mean, how are them three still together at the back? It worries me that, personally. I hope that's not the three for the final, by the way. I hope Yoro and De Ligt are available. I know Eden Heaven has travelled with the squad as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets any minutes or not. Maybe they take Shaw off in the 60th. Well, I think there's a couple of risks there in that back line, especially Harry Maguire as well, how important he's been. So that's interesting. Mazraoui, Casemiro, Bruno and Dorgu. Mazraoui again starting. I mean, could you have not started Dorgu on the right and put Amas at wing back? Or are you worried about the Madueke kind of threat and Cole Palmer drifting in those areas potentially? That's why he's gone with that. But yeah, Mazraoui, I mean, hopefully it's a plan where, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and they just take him off. Because Mazraoui, as Ruben Hammering described, is quite literally dead on his feet. So I'm not happy he's starting. I think he could have deserved the rest. Casemiro's another one as well. He's nailed on, I think, in my opinion, to start the final. Bruno Fernandes is nailed on to start the final. Dorgu's going to start. Ahmad is definitely going to start. I mean, Højlund's going to start as a striker because you couldn't even play Cheat. I mean, you wouldn't play Cheeto in a final, but you couldn't even if you wanted to. So Højlund's going to start, and then Mason Mount, you would imagine, is probably going to start as well. So that, for me, looking at that team, and I don't know, people might disagree. Let me know in the comment section if you do. That's quite risky to play those kind of players because you can't take them all off. You've got 5 subs, right? So let's say in a game you take off Mount because he's a little bit risky. You take off Shaw, Bruno, Cass, and Mazraoui. Ahmad and Højlund are still on the pitch. They've got to play a full 90 minutes. The risk of getting injured. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I guess it's like, this almost feels like a practice and warm-up for Wednesday, because what Amorim was saying in the presser was like, well, we've got 8-9 days, which isn't really ideal. So we need, I think he's going more for rhythm and tempo. So they're not going into the game kind of stale, do you know what I mean? But if you look at Spurs, I mean, Spurs, I was having a look before, because obviously they're playing Aston Villa tonight in a very, very similar situation. Not a single player who started the Europa League semi-final has started tonight for Spurs, so they have heavily rotated. And just a quick side note, if anyone's got Watkins or Asensio in the team, points for them tonight, I would say. But yeah, Villa are actually on the same points as Chelsea, so they are in an identical situation to playing teams near the bottom who are both in the Europa League final. Really, really weird for like a Friday night. But yeah, let's get everyone's opinions. I want to see what people think, if they agree with me or if they disagree with me. James in the chat saying evening. Rayonate is saying first time I've truly been frustrated with Ruben. Bar Lindelof, that should be our team for the final. I can accept Mount, Ahmad and Cass need minutes. But Amas, Bayindir and God knows where Obi is. Ahmad and Mount is interesting. Don't like that team. Pointless game. Why play some of them players? I like Ahmad and Mount as the 10s. I'm more on that page, by the way. I like that 3, that Ahmad, Mount and Højlund up top. Could be interesting. And if you need to try out certain things, it's probably going to be in the game rather than the actual final, right? So I think that is close to the final as you're going to get. It'd be interesting to see whether Garnacho starts. That is one player I think you should definitely consider for the direct threat, but now Ahmad's in there, so I don't know. It's interesting approach from both coaches in it, the way they've gone about it. Amad Diallo's first start, is that right? Or did he start the last game? Let's have a look. I don't want anyone to tell me. I want to find out for myself. I don't think he started, did he? So the last team: Bayende, Majrari, Yoro, Shaw, Amas, Bruno, Ugarte. Yeah, Ahmad did start. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, he did start. I think he came off though, didn't he? Did he get subbed? Essentially. So yeah, he's getting close to 90 minutes. I mean, Mason Mount has been tethering on that kind of line, so he's got to be close to 90 minutes as well. I really, really like that dynamic, you know. They're the two people I would go for in behind a striker. I wouldn't have Rasmus there, but obviously we don't have a choice with Rasmus because he's literally on the striker. You could have played Chibo, but I don't know, maybe he just wants a bit of confidence in there. He wants a bit of... I know people are saying it's a risk and, you know, injuries can happen, but sometimes you can't just give up games because you might get an injury. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's ridiculous. There's a lot of people on the channel who I've spoken to this about before, and a lot of people are of the ilk, not the ilk, whatever you want to call it. They are of the opinion, should I say, that we should just play the kids, and I don't agree with that at all. I think we're low enough in the league as it is anyway. I think even if Tottenham get battered tonight, like that could be a confidence damager. Do you know what I mean? If you go to Stamford Bridge and put in a good performance and even beat them, you know, some of the players in that team tonight, they'll be up for the final. Do you know what I mean? It's a test to see where you're at. I actually agree with Amarin on this, and I know people might not agree with me, but I do. There's a couple of risks in there, obviously, but there's risks in every game, in every single game you're going to play. So if this is as close to the team as you're going to get for the final, the one thing I would say that I really don't like about it is the back three. Maguire, Shaw and Lindelof. I mean, we were saying it under this coach now. We were saying it under Ragnick. We were saying it under Ten Hag. We were saying it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And even to a certain extent with Shaw and Lindelof under Jose Mourinho. Like, they just... Sometimes it's either, I don't know whether it's focus or just, concentration and focus with some of the Lindelof in individual battles is absolutely dog shit. Like, he's not a great defender at all, in my opinion. He's way too flaky. Maguire hasn't covered himself in glory recently. I know he's had his moments in the Europa League, but I don't like that back line at all. I think it's got mistakes in it. Shaw, Onana, Maguire and Lindelof. Nah. Not for me. Not for me. And just even like you think about the Premier League and the application in there, I don't know. I'm tearing my hair out with that. My point about Amas, Bayende and Obi was they should have started tonight. Realised it didn't make much sense. He started the last game, as did Mount. We need to win in some momentum. I agree with going for it tonight, but to have Luke Shaw and Majrari starting. Majrari's the one for me. That one baffles me because you could have... I mean, like I said, it could be the Amas thing. They don't want to start against Madueke and Cole Palmer. I'm saying all this. I've not even looked at Chelsea's team yet. I've literally not even pulled it up. So I always do this. I talk about tactically, like, oh, we got to watch out for Pedro Neto and da-da-da. I don't even know who's starting, so let's just see. Sanchez, James. I thought Reece James was injured. Oh, interesting. Sanchez, James, Tosin, Colwell, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Madueke, Palmer, Neto, and George. That three, Madueke, Palmer, and Neto, that's a threat, man. And they've gone with a young kid, George, up top as well. He's a very, very talented boy. But even on the bench, Badashil, Chalobah, Akampong, Anselmino, Gusto, Lavia, and Dewsbury Hall as well. So, yeah, their front three are a problem. Individually, you know, as a collective, they are good. Madueke I'm a fan of as well. I know some people don't like him, but yeah, against R3, we're getting mullered at the back, lads. We are getting absolutely mullered. So, yeah, please do, if you are just joining us, this is the team on your right-hand side of your screen. Onana, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, Majrari, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Dorgu, Ahmad, Højlund and Mount. And on Bruno Fernandes, actually, I forgot to mention, he's on 98 goals at the minute for the club. If he scores tonight, let's say, for example, and then he scores in the final, that is his 100th goal for Manchester United in all competitions. And how poetic would that be if he did it in the final as well? And not only just that, you know, if he gets a couple of goals or a couple of assists in the next couple of games, he ends up on basically 20 goals and 20 assists for the season, which is one of the reasons why he has got Player of the Year for Man United, which got announced earlier on today, which is fully deserved. I mean, no one else would have got it really. You know, Ahmad's had his injuries, so he wouldn't even be in contention for it, and the rest have just been pretty average in it. I mean, you could, at a stretch, you could push certain players, but yeah. I mean, Garnacho, in terms of numbers, had a good season, but actually on the ball, converting chances, creating chances as well. Yeah, not been good enough from him, has it? So, Bruno Fernandes, fully deserved and buzzing for him. And he's done it again. I think he's won it a few times now, hasn't he? So, yeah, absolutely deserved, 100%. 100%. What do you think of Ange wrapping that defence in cotton wool? I get your point about Spurs mentally if they get battered, but it looks like Ange doesn't give a shit. Ange doesn't give a shit simply because he probably thinks he's going to lose his job anyway, right? So he's thinking, what's the point of pushing anything? I know managers don't think like this, and I know they're professionals, but he's probably thinking, well, what's the point? Like, what longevity have I got at this club? However, I can take a trophy away. I could take a European trophy, and I could be the first person to win a trophy for him since 2009, when they won the League Cup, I think it was. And I don't think they've ever won a European trophy unless it was in like the 80s or 70s, but no one's going back that far. So that's probably how he's looking at it, potentially. For Amarin, it's like, you know, we've got 8-9 games. I don't want to go into that final on Wednesday with, you know, players being rusty or slow, out of rhythm. Because even still, with the players you've got in the team, you've still got players who are not played or playing 90 minutes full. Like Mount's one of them, Shaw's another. It seems like they're building up the tolerance like minute by minute with those two. Can an injury happen tonight? Obviously, it can happen tonight. And you know, I know people will be in an uproar about it, but I have to admit, I agree with Amarin. I do. I'm sorry for anyone who disagrees with that, but I do. Spurs have Son, and that's it. I'm so happy Kulusevski and Maddison are crocked. Yeah, 100%. I have a sneaky feeling he gets an assist tonight and a brace in Bilbao. This is a crazy risk. 4 times, I think. Yeah, so there we go, people. There we go. I don't mind that team at all. I'm not mad at it. In terms of the type of game that we're going to get tonight, I mean, obviously it helps when you've got both lineups now. So I was kind of speculating. I was looking at Chelsea's numbers in the Premier League, right? And it's, to be fair, data-wise, they're doing pretty well. So they've got the second most shots in the league, second most big chances created, third most passes in the league, the most yellow cards in the league, third highest in terms of possession as well. So obviously stuff like yellow cards and stuff is kind of like meh, but it just goes to show they are a bit of an aggressive team. But they've kept as many clean sheets as us this season, which I think is 9, and they've conceded 43 goals. So you can get at them. They can be naive a little bit, especially at the back. I mean, they've had troubles with kind of the centre-backs and stuff, and the goalkeeper I don't rate at all. I think it's absolutely pants. Robert Pantez is what he should be called. But offensive flair, which is why you look at those underlying numbers, I expect him to have a lot of the ball, create a lot of chances, have a lot of shots, and Onana is going to have a very, very busy night. A very, very busy night, because Chelsea are still in the Champions League race. They're still in it. You know, they're only 3 points, I think it is, behind Newcastle. Obviously, losing to Newcastle in the last game was a massive blow for him, but they're still in it. Newcastle have Arsenal over the weekend. City have a final and Bournemouth as well to play against. So you can still make that up. You know, either way, if Newcastle will go above Arsenal drop points, there is a route and there's a way for Chelsea to get into Champions League. So with it being at Stamford Bridge, with it being against a United team whose maybe their focus is on Wednesday, although the team lineup might not suggest that, they will smell blood and they will go for it. And I expect a really, really tough game tonight. Especially, you know, if we perform anyway how we did against West Ham, I mean, we are absolutely done for in this game, aren't we? That performance was one of the worst of the season, and, you know, was coming at the wrong time as well. I'd have to go back and watch it to really put my finger on it, but I'm not putting myself through that pain. So, yeah, it was a painful performance. It was a painful watch, and hopefully no more of that tonight. Hopefully we take it to him and actually give him a good game. Because I'm not asked if you give Chelsea a good game, right, and it finishes 1-1, 2-2, whatever, and it's entertaining, like, people will be fine with that. Especially if you use your subs in the right way and you bring off the players when they need to. I think people will be okay. If you go there now and get battered 3-0 with that team, and then we have to go into a final coming off the back of a 3-0 loss against Chelsea and a 2-0 loss against West Ham, Where's the confidence? Where's the belief? The thing is with United, though, we are one of those teams who, despite whatever form, whatever point we're at in the season, when it's a final, we can turn up and we can win. We've shown it multiple times. You know, our form weren't necessarily the greatest. I know we finished third in Ten Hag's first season, but there was some games in that season where you're like, oh, I don't like that at all. Why have we conceded that many goals? But we still beat Newcastle convincingly in the final. Same thing with the City season. Terrible season, battered off Palace towards the end, 4-0. A team that's fallen apart, a manager that's probably on his way out, and then they beat Man City in the final, in the FA Cup final, and changed the tactics and beat them convincingly. So I'm curious to know if Amorim is on a similar kind of wavelength, on a similar kind of vibe. Is he going to go into this with this system, with this team, with this setup on Wednesday, or are we going to get something slightly different tactically in terms of shape and how we press and how we keep hold of the ball? Or is he going to stick with his beliefs and play almost identically? Maybe Mount will come out and Garnacho will start, or I don't know. I don't know, but that's pretty close. I don't know. I'd put Euro in there and De Ligt if they are fit and available. Ugarte, I don't know about Ugarte. I'm honestly, I don't want to be harsh on him because he has had good games and he's been decent in, Bilbao away. He was pretty good. And there was a couple of others as well. But that game against West Ham where he falls over and they go and score, it's just like unacceptable that for a United midfielder. And he's got a lot of things that needs to improve on. So I actually have a preference. I prefer Bruno and Casemiro together in the midfield and then Mount deployed higher, because what you're going to get in Mount and Ahmad as well is they are two workhorses. So obviously they've got a lot of technical ability on the ball and they're quite sharp in possession. But off the ball, they press and hunt really well. And Rasmus works hard as well, as much grief as Rasmus gets. And he's obviously not going to be the striker that we all think he's going to be. He does graft and he does work hard. So, yeah, that three as a collective is going to be interesting. In terms of key players for Chelsea, I mean, Cole Palmer is the obvious one. At the start of 2025 up until the past couple of weeks, he's just not been himself. But the past couple of games, he's starting to look sharp again. He's starting to find space. He's starting to beat men, get shots off, get assists. So he's looking like the Cole Palmer of old, which is shocking timing for us. But he is a key player for them. 15 goals, 8 assists. And also Pedro Neto is someone I would highlight as well, just for the pure pace and direct threat. Like, he's just a nuisance of a player when he gets it out. And same thing with Madueke. So when they're coming up 1v1, even if we're doubling up, like Neto against Lindelof, if he's playing on that left-hand side, because I presume Madueke is going to be on the right, he's just going to terrorise him. Absolutely terrorise him. That is the area I would be worried about, the key area for me personally. Right, what we're saying, people, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're on 14,764 subscribers, so if you are new and you enjoy the content, then please do hit that subscribe button. Nathan's saying Mason's scoring tonight and shushing him. I know, I didn't even think about that dynamic. I didn't even discuss it. Mason Mount returning to Chelsea. Obviously, he's going to get booed. You probably expect from the Chelsea fans, but he's got that kind of attitude, Mount, where he's just relentless anyway, so I don't think it'll be affecting him. Tang Ken Chai says, let's go to United. Big up, Tan. We have to be compact and press together. Don't leave gaps. Don't leave it down to our back line to help us out. All nice in theory. With United, theory goes out the window, doesn't it? Even with the final, everyone, all the kind of podcast and radio stations and media and TalkSport and all these kind of people, when they're speaking about this, they're like, oh, I don't know about United against Spurs. United, look where they are in the league, even though Spurs are below us in the league. Gary Neville talking about Bruno Fernandes is the only player that would get into Tottenham's team, which is absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Why have I crashed here? Sorry, people. 1 second. Let me reset this camera. That is not a great angle at all, that is it? There we go. Sorry about that. It's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks for me. The keeper, I think, obviously, Vicario would go in there. I'd take that point. Romero and Van der Ven, yeah. I think they would probably go in at centre-back. I know Maguire's had his moments, but as an overall centre-back, I think I prefer those two. I think Mazraoui is a better right-back than Pedro Porro. Personally, I'd much rather have Mazraoui in my team. Pedro Porro's shocking defensively. As a left-back, Udogie is better than Dorgu. No doubt about that. Midfield, Bruno Fernandes gets in there. Bentancur's very hot and cold, so it's a tricky one. That Bergval's been good for him. So maybe one would get in ahead of Casemiro, for example. But then the forward line, Ahmad would get in over Kulusevski for me, 100%. Solanke would be up top. And then, yeah, well, I don't know. Garnacho's had an identical season to Son Heung-min. So take your pick there. And Garnacho's got more age on his side, higher ceiling. Not higher ceiling than Son, but you know what I'm saying, innit? So I think that was utter wibble by Gary Neville. But my point was, I've got on a tangent there. My point was, right, people are all making these assumptions because of the Premier League and stuff. Have they not learned anything yet? You can chuck your theory and throw it out the window when it's United in the final. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a European final, and United in the past, 6 years, is it? I mean, someone tell me who's watching. Is it 6 years, 5 finals that we've been in? You know what I mean? FA Cup final, another FA Cup final in the Ten Hag, a Carabao Cup final, this final on Wednesday, and then the one under Ollie in Verdansk, right? In the Europa League. Do you know what I mean? So we've got the experience of being there. Tottenham are stepping into this and playing at Bilbao this season as well. We've been in that stadium. We've felt the heat. We've played on the pitch. Like, that's another advantage that people don't really talk about. Tottenham are going into this final, like, a little bit scarce, let's say, for example, walking onto the pitch and be like, oop, you know, first time we're playing in the final. We've got quite a few big players missing. We're against United, who always turn up in finals. Like, I thought the pressure being on us. The pressure's on them. Take your theory, shove it up your ass. That's what I say about this game. Straight up. P.S. I grew to hate Gary Neville. I already hate this political view, but his attack on United is really pissed me off. Yeah, do you know what? I keep seeing a lot of stuff about that with Gary Neville. And I feel the same way, but I almost feel like really awkward. Not awkward, but like if I criticize him or disagree with his opinion, or like you've seen the comments section on social media on our X or on Instagram or TikTok. Like if we go against whatever Gary Neville says, there'll be a few people saying like, oh, what do you know? He's an ex-legend. You know, he's been there for 20 years. He's been a captain. He's won trophies. Like, what the fuck do you know? And it's like, that's all good. I take your point. But then, okay, if you're going to use that framework to fuel your agenda, when he's talking about the manager, what the fuck does he know about management? When he went and managed Valencia, he was dog shit. What did Paul Scholes do with Oldham? What did Roy Keane do? Like, kept Sunderland from relegation? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're going, oh, the manager needs to do this, the manager needs to do that. Like, what the fuck have you done as a manager? More to the point. If they're talking more about specifics, about position or mentality in a game and little things like, obviously they can comment on that. You know, 99, obviously Gary Neville was around the squad when we won in Moscow as well. So those kind of things I would listen to. You know, if he's talking about Trent, he needs to be a little bit better defending, or Roy Keane or Scholes are talking about the midfielders and how they're not smart enough or shifting it about enough or dictating the tempo. Like, them things I'll be like, yeah, 100%. But all of them have been so fucking negative before the game. It's like, you're going to give us half a chance to win a final? Like, I know we've been terrible in the league, and all United fans know that, and all you guys feel embarrassed watching us, right? We're all on the same page with that. We know it's been nowhere near good enough in the league, and criticism is due 100%. However, right before a final, I do not agree with all these pundits and ex-players, shitting on the team. And just be like, you know what I mean? Like, give us a chance in the final. Give some positivity. I saw Bruno Fernandes' interview with TNT Sports, where he seemed positive in himself. He was like, obviously, we know we've had a bad season, but, you know, we're looking forward to the final. We know we can perform in finals and stuff. And Rio sent him a video message basically saying, like, look, I'm here for you, man. I'm backing you. I know you're going to do the business. I know you're going to bring home the trophy. And with just this kind of positivity around it. I'm not saying sugarcoat shit, but just before a final, it's just bizarre for me for Gary Neville. Like, it's like we're sat there covered in pigeon shit, and he's just a big fucking condor or a falcon sat on a ledge just taking another giant shit on us. Not a fan of that. Pissed me off a little bit, to be honest. I struggle. I can't watch, and we were speaking about this in the WhatsApp the other day. I can't watch like the overlap anymore. Like the fan debate, I like a lot of people on there. I've met a lot of people on there as well. They're absolutely fine. But some of the criticism, like the Paul Scholes thing with the delay, just would not let it go and was like, don't rate him, don't get it why they signed him, even before he kicked a ball. And he's been pretty good for us this season. I think the majority of people would agree with that. I don't know. There's a weird negative bubble around United at the minute, and it needs to be popped. Just show a bit of, if Gary Neville just come out and just say, do you know what? I know it's been a crap season in the league. I really hope they go and win the final. I think they've got good quality players to do it. And listen, it's Spurs and da-da-da. That'd be nice to see from someone who cares about the club. But we don't get that. We don't get that. Again, I've gone off on a tangent there. But back to Chelsea. I want to speak about Chelsea because they have got a motive tonight. Unlike us, for us, you might move up to 15th. I don't even know if that's a possibility, but you move up a couple of league positions at max. For Chelsea, Champions League football is on the agenda. Will they get Champions League football? I mean, Newcastle playing tonight at Arsenal. Let me have a look at Premier League fixtures, just to double check. Yeah, so Arsenal at the Emirates against Newcastle. Newcastle might not lose, but I don't think they win the game there. I think they might come away with a draw, right? So if Chelsea pick up the 3 points, you are hot on their tail. Same thing with Villa. Villa are playing Tottenham. You would probably think Villa are going to win that game as well, so they gain points on Newcastle. What happens in that City game when they've got a final on the weekend? What happens if Palace beat them on the weekend and then they're a little bit down from that. So there's so many different outcomes that's at play at the minute. The Premier League table, when you talk about European football, I mean, they are really, really close to each other. I wish some people outside would shut the fuck up. Honestly, it's like they're walking about and going, nah, 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 nah. Like, fucking put your Lamborghini down. Fucking shut up, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, you've got Nottingham Forest, who are on 62 points, up until Newcastle, who are on 66 points. So that's 4 points between 3rd place and 7th place. That could be a real mix-up there. Nottingham Forest themselves, I'm not saying they're in the mix, they're the least likely to get it, but they've got West Ham, and then they've got Chelsea on the last game. So they could pinch, important couple of weeks for those clubs. I think Chelsea might get in there, I do. I think Villa are going to beat Spurs. So they will go above City tonight. I think Chelsea will beat us. So they'll go above they'll go above City as well. And then City's Europa League, so it's all on Man City then. Newcastle drop points. Yeah. I think Chelsea might do it, man. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I think Palmer's just peaking maybe at the right time for them with the important games that they've got coming. Just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. Right, let's see if we've got... I don't know. Hold on. Honestly, sorry, I don't know what's going on outside. It just sounds like a load of council gremlins fucking... Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, get me out of this shithole, Jesus Christ. Sorry. Right, let's see if we've got any quotes from individuals. Any manager quotes. Usually maybe it's a little bit... You know what? I didn't even clock. The game kicks off at 8:15. I've been under the illusion for the past couple of hours that it kicks off at 8. 8:15 on a Friday. What the fuck? Subs bench. Sorry, I forgot to mention subs bench. Bayern, Amas, Fredrickson, Heaven, Collier, Ugarte, Eriksson, Mainu, and Garnacho. That is midfield heavy, innit? Collier, Ugarte, Eriksson, and Mainu. Who I imagine all will probably get minutes. Garnacho is a nice sub to have off the bench. Garnacho and Chelsea. Apparently they've killed their interest at the minute, so that might not happen. But that was very interesting in January, wasn't it? When he was asking for £60 million and he was humming and ahhing. Yeah, I'm fascinated to see if Garnacho goes this summer. I don't know. In my heart of hearts, I don't... Would you keep Garnacho right now is the question I'll ask you. Based off what you've seen in the last 6 months, based off his output this season, what he's done for United, Is he adapting enough to this position that Ruben Amorim wants? Is he still going to get as much game time if Cunha comes in? Should he be getting as much game time? Should he be an impact player for now? And then he grows into the role with the numbers that he's putting up. Do you know what I mean? Chivy in the chat with some positivity. Cheers for that, mate. We're losing someone else tonight, 100%. Well, you've said it now, haven't you? So if it does happen, then it's on you, mate. Sure, Curtis. Your Curtis. Do you know what it is? Let's play a game of bingo, right? So I need you guys to be with me on this. You can all see the team line up on the screen. I want you to name one player in that side who you think is going to get injured today. And let's see. And I'll write them all down. And I'll see if anyone can get it. Like injury bingo, let's call it. So we've got Onana, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Mazraoui, Cass, Bruno, Dorgu, Mount, Højlund, Ahmad. I'm going to say Mazraoui. Nave's just put Lindelof with a brain mark. Mount, no, Chive. No. Please, no. You know, like Michael Scott in The Office. God, no! Please, no! When he finds out Toby's staying. Please not Mount. I don't want anyone to get injured. Let's get that straight. I don't even want Mazraoui to get injured. But I just think with the minutes it's been played... I mean, no one's even talking about Bruno Fernandes because I know he's mega resilient. But imagine if he went out before the final. I mean, talk about a killer. If him or Ahmad went down, that's the what they're... Because they are genuine game changers. And losing your captain or something, I mean... Fucking hell. I don't even want to put that into the air. Bruno Fernandes has played 4,671 minutes this season. Nearly 5,000 minutes in a single season. 54 games. I mean, I don't know how he's still going. Genuinely. Does it every year as well. Every single year. I think it's interesting, actually. Let me see how many minutes he played last season. Just to see if it's more. Is that last season? No, that is not last season. Can I see last season, please? Thank you. So 4,285 minutes last season it was. So he's already played an extra 500 minutes, 600 minutes than last season. Let's have a look at 22-23. Oh, 22-23 was a heavy season under Ten Hag. 5,165 minutes. Oh my goodness gracious. 59 games in total. This boy just eats Weetabix and fucking is on an IV drip of Monster. Yeah, before that was sweet. Only 3,000 odd minutes. Yeah, the one under Ten Hag where he played 60 games, that was bad. That was really, really bad. So I worry about him long term, to be honest with you. I think at some point it's inevitable his body's just going to start breaking down. I know for him, he's not really like a fast twitch muscle kind of guy anyway, do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about in terms of like reactions and stuff, but I'm saying you see sometimes with those wingers especially, the legs start going because of the fast movements and reactions and the kind of pace of him, sometimes stopping himself running too quick as well. Like Bruno's more a floating midfielder, so it's not as bad. But I just think like someone who's played that amount of minutes, the body, you talk about science in general, the body can only take so much in it, so I'm surprised that he hasn't started breaking down already. Let's be honest, it'll be the most informed player. Always is, as bad as this is. Imagine Højlund got an injury. Yeah, that's one in it. Who I think you should be taking him off. But is Cheeto even on the bench? Cheeto's not even on the bench. So if you take him off, are they going to go with Manu as a false nine or something like that? Put Ahmad up top or Garnacho up top? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. He might end up playing a full 90 minutes. If we lose a key player tonight, I don't think I'll ever forgive him. Listen, I've put my opinion out there already about this. I'm fine with him playing that. If someone gets injured, obviously I won't be happy about it and I'll be gutted, but I get why he's doing it in terms of rhythm, consistency, actually putting up a fucking fight as well. I know people are saying, I don't care about the Prem, we're done with, we're going to finish 16th, 17th anyway. I don't want to go into a Wednesday game being, one, battered off a Chelsea team 3 or 4-0 and just damaging more of the players' confidence, like whoever it is. And two, I just think, like, just for competition levels and momentum and rhythm, I think it's important. You've got 9 days, 9 days before the game. Maybe like a training session in between. So, I don't know. Obviously, we'll see which one works out on Wednesday, innit? Because Andrew's fully rotated against Villa, and he's basically playing like the B team, and we're going strong. So, we'll see which one works out. I mean, it'll probably work out in Spurs' favour if it goes to extra time. In that sense, won't it? But maybe we won't need extra time. Random guy in the chat, big up to you, sir. I'm extremely nervous for Majari Maguire. They are playing too many minutes. Majari's, yeah, someone I've mentioned as well. 100% with you on that, mate. 1,000,000%. Right, Ruben Amorim via Sky Sports. We have 5 days to prepare for the final. We are focused on this game. Sometimes the best way to prepare for a final is to compete. The biggest problems we've had this season on training, we had Ahmad injury in training and also with Mainu. We never know where the danger is, but we have time to recover for the final, so let's compete. That's interesting. Yeah, the fact he talks about the injuries being in training. That was mad, wasn't it? Ankle. Ahmad rolling his ankle in February, was it? Around the Leicester game. And then Mainu, yeah, kind of had a bit of a freak knee one, I think it was, that he does. And then he ended up being out, so the training session in between, we've still got that as well where they could go out. Sorry to be that burst your bubble, but yeah. Saying here, Amorim has big expectations for next season. He says, we need to finish the season because every season has its history. I think Premier League has a number of times with Blackburn Rovers almost relegated and then champions. Leicester almost relegated, then champion. Nottingham Forest almost relegated and then Champions League this year. It's a different context. People don't understand how things are changing in Carrington, in our club. How many things are happening at the same time? Let's finish the season and then we'll see. That's a big quote from the manager, innit? A big quote, a big comment that talking about, you know, all these about to be relegated and then it was right near the top of the table. It certainly doesn't feel like that in the moment, does it? It doesn't feel like we're going to be competing with any Liverpool, Villa. It feels like there's a lot of work. But you have to admit, over the summer as well, there is going to be a lot of players that are leaving the door. You know, Antony, Rashford, potentially Sancho, Lindelof, Eriksen. Like, there's probably going to be 6, 7, 8 players leaving. You know, they're going to promote a couple of the young kids. Heavens look really, really good. Get him back in shape. Hopefully Ahmad and Yoro stay fit consistently. And obviously the work they're talking about at Carrington as well and how they're changing things. So you never know, do you? You never know. I don't think anyone can sit here and definitely say we're not going to finish in the top half next season. But it's happened before, like he's just alluded to. He's named 3 or 4 clubs where it's been done. So I don't know. That's a very interesting conversation. He's saying, I'm always saying that we are losing games, but I'm still confident because I clearly know what to do for this team. And I see so many good things, but I think the moment is not to share that. It's to share the pain with our fans. I see in the last games, and you can look at the amount of times that we create situations to win against Athletic Bilbao, for example. I felt the team was too open. I didn't feel that in the game at West Ham. I saw so many good things, but I don't want to share when we're losing so many games because it's hard for our fans to understand. Sounds very positive, Amorim. I'm just looking at the team, looking at Chelsea, focusing on this game, then we'll have to prepare the final. I just show as a manager of United with a strong team to win the game. Well, there you have it, people. There you have it. The manager has spoken. Speaking about improvements, speaking about, you know, hopes for next season. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very confident, which might surprise quite a lot of people, understandably. I get it. But yeah, Villa are peppering Spurs, are they? Speaking about peppers, I've just had fajitas for tea. Yum yum. Peppers, chicken, corn-fed chicken breast, whatever that means. That's what I had on them, if anyone cares. Are you being peppering in terms of like winning or just alright, like battering them? 73% possession, 3 shots already. Jesus Christ. Oh no, 67% possession. Yeah, this is why I got Ollie Watkins in my team. Because him or Asensio are going to do something tonight, no doubt about that. They'll probably keep a clean sheet as well. So any of the fantasy guys who are, you know, fighting for those 3rd, 4th place, very similar to what Villa are. Yeah. James McGrogan, my brother, how are you? Never forget Nick's comment about Spurs months ago. Spurs are like a chef's apron. If you know, you know. Yeah, do you know what? Offensively, though, Spurs, I don't want to make this the Spurs kind of build-up, but because you mentioned them. Offensively, they had a period, kind of mid-season, I think it was, where they was quite literally the best attack in the league. When you talk about metrics, whether it's, 18-yard box entries, whether it was final third touches, whether it was big chances created, shots on goal, I think they was number one in every single rank. But what comes with that is, especially with the way Ange plays, when the fullbacks are so high up and he just leaves kind of defenders exposed, and you're playing with a midfield of Maddison, Kulusevski, and Bentancur, and only really having one defensive midfielder in there. He's so open. And when you concede a couple of goals, or when you make mistakes at the level that Spurs do, similar to us in a sense, you can get at them. So this is why I think the final. I said this to Shreyas yesterday. This is why I think the final will. I don't think it'll be. Maybe it'll be cagey at the start, but I think both teams will just go at it. I think it could be a 3-2 or maybe extra time 2-2 on penalties. Do you know what I mean? I see him scoring goals because both teams' defenses are dog shit. I mean, we've conceded around 54 goals this season, I think. I don't know how many Tottenham have conceded, but it's got to be up there, innit? Let's have a look. I reckon, just without looking now, do you think Spurs have conceded more than United, or United have conceded more than Spurs? Just have a think about that now, and I'll have a look. It's got to be United, hasn't it? I don't know, actually. Maybe Spurs? Let's have a look. Because that really would be the worst prize, wouldn't it? Goals conceded 59. Spurs have got. You spot on random. 59 goals, but they've scored 63. Man United, I'm pretty sure it was 54 the last time I checked. Goals conceded 53, sorry, but we scored 42. So they've scored 20-odd more goals than us, but they've conceded 6 more, sorry. So it just tells you the story there, innit, straight away. Both teams are crazy, innit? There was this whole debate, and I was arguing with a ref on Wednesday at my work about the whole scenario in a minute with, obviously, because Arsene Wenger's come out recently on it. So the ref, sorry, just for context, the ref that I was debating with is an Arsenal fan, right? So I was giving him shit about the semi-final and then bottling it again and the, second place prize and do you still want Arteta and all this kind of stuff, right? So naturally he was giving it back and saying, mate, look at where you are in the Premier League. I would take Arsenal finishing third, second, whatever it is, every year and not have a season like yours, right? Which, obviously, in some areas, you take his point. Obviously, in terms of you want to see progression as a team, right? Not just trophies, because we've shown that we're capable before of winning a trophy and then just collapsing in the league. So I was like, yeah, okay, I understand your point. However, if you just look at it from an unbiased view, by the end of this season, if we win the Europa League, despite whatever happens in the league with us consistently, if we win the Europa League, we are in the same competition as you next year. You don't have any advantages in it. Level, both in the same competition, but we have a European trophy. So, no, we've not had a better season than you in the Premier League because you've been miles better. You're about 20, 30, 40 points ahead, right? However, when we end the season, it's hard to kind of tell United fans that because we've got, well, we've not got it yet, but a European trophy and in the Champions League. None of these teams, Villa can't say that. City can't say that. Even Liverpool can't say that they've got a European trophy and they're in the Champions League. Doesn't mean we've got a better season, but it's still, it can save so much. So much, honestly. So yeah, I think we all know it's a massive final. Son is looking hungry. He'll rip Lindelof to bits. We don't even have a press, and yep, that's a great point. Yeah, they're pressed from the front. I'm saying that's what I mean. They do have things that they're good at, but they also have things that they are really, really, really bad at. Don't forget, Spurs are below us in the league, and they're below us. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've been utter dog shit. So there's hope. But whoever loses that game, I mean, that is, yeah. That's when it'll really, really... I was sat there watching montages last night of the Europa League semi-final when Kobe made... I mean, it shows that it does... I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's basically an Interstellar like montage kind of make. And for anyone who's seen Interstellar, there's like a speech that... is it Anne Hathaway? Is that her name? I feel like that's the name. Is that her name? Anne Hathaway, Matthew McConaughey, and they're talking about, like, you know, it's relative to this and yada, 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 and it's, you know, it doesn't make sense. How do we do this? And it's like sometimes theory goes out the window, and then you see, like, us go 4-2 down to a 10-men Leon, and you're like, how on earth has it got to this point? No one in that stadium, no one watching on TV at all thought we would get through that. Not one person, I'm not asked who it is. People were leaving the stadium after Leon scored. After, was it Cherke or the other guy who scored? I thought we was done. And then in 6 minutes, we changed the whole course of the competition. This is why it goes back to before, like, just theory, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You talk about teams and the way they are and blah, blah, blah. It does not matter in that final. It's a one-off. It's a cup final. Fucking anything can happen, you know? But the base starts tonight against Chelsea. Be competitive. Be at them, have the tempo, have the right attitude, have the hunger. I think you'll get that from the front with Ahmad, Højlund and Mount. You know, the midfield with Cass and Bruno, they can do bits together. Dorgu could be a threat when he wants, but he's still rough and raw around the edges. Just that back four. We ain't keeping a clean sheet tonight, but we might score 1 or 2. So with that in mind, people, I'm going to give my prediction in terms of bet, slip, 4 things that could happen. And I always wait until the end because I want to kind of talk tactics both sides and kind of get a gist of which way the game's going to go. So I will go with, if Pedro Neto's playing on the left-hand side, I think Lindelof is bound to get a yellow card for sure. That's going to happen. And I mean sure, not sure. So Lindelof yellow. Both teams to score. Cole Palmer 2 shots on target. Do you know what? I'll go Caicedo yellow card as well. I think Caicedo's one of the most booked players in the Prem. I think that's double figures now in terms of yellow cards. But I could see a 2-2, you know, Nath. My initial prediction was Andy's, which was 3-1. Because I think we'll get a goal, we'll get a penalty for Bruno or something, but their attack might have a bit too much. But I could also see a 2-2 as well. I could see it being a bit of a fucking slogging match. Because Chelsea were probably going into this, I don't know how the coach was thinking or the players. But with all the noise that was around United at the time when they was talking about, you know, Amarin's going to arrest all these players, and he's talking in the press conference about, you know, he's not going to risk the big players, and then he goes out with a team like that, they might be a little bit startled and surprised. But it just depends what United turn up. If it's the United that we've seen for the majority of the season, then, I mean, what's the point of even watching? We're just going to get battered, aren't we? But yeah, I don't know. I can see a 2-2. I would probably go with Nath, to be honest. I can see that. Listen, me and Sam, who's just turned 62, it was his birthday yesterday, so me and Sam are going to be live after the game, as always, discussing it in full. Really excited for a post-match review, because once that game is done, there's one game left that matters, and it's the Europa League final on Wednesday. So, yeah, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss the full game at length, what happens, hopefully there won't be any injuries that we're talking about. But yeah, he'll be with me, so do wish him a happy birthday when we do the post-match review later on. Try and enjoy the game if you can. I'll be keeping a close eye on the Tottenham game, see if there's any other injuries in there or any subs that are coming on, see if they're getting battered. And hopefully we get the win tonight. We carry that confidence and momentum into the final on Wednesday, and we go and get the business done. But yeah, I mean, not long to the end of the season now. The drag of the Premier League is almost over, but we really could genuinely save it. So, yeah, appreciate you all. Go and watch it. Enjoy the punditry, the commentary, if you will, and I'll see you after it, yeah? See you in a bit, you legend.